Cool. All right, Cafe Racer. So the Cafe Racer is a completely different approach to a multi-boiler machine compared to most multi-boiler machines on the market. And it comes from a lot of the technology we actually developed originally around the Opera. So there's a lot of similarities in some of the internals on here as there is on the Opera. One of the most noticeable sort of similarities is the group heads and how they work and how we go about managing the quality and consistency of the output on the Cafe Racer. So everything on the Cafe Racer comes from a perspective of looking at the best potential in-cup quality you can possibly achieve with the most consistency at volume. So what we do on the Cafe Racer is we have full stainless steel boiler configuration. Stainless steel boiler along the back, which is purely for our steam and for our hot water as well. What we then have behind each group head is an independent boiler which heats the water up to about 82 degrees. The reason we do that is because at 82 degrees, the risk of scale, the risk of contamination and taking oxygen out of the water is far, far reduced. And we hold it in about just over a litre behind each group head at that temperature. Once the water's to that temperature, we then pull it through to the group head. Now, each group head on a Cafe Racer starts life at an 8 kilo block of solid stainless steel. And we then mill that block out to about 5 kilos. But that in turn creates behind there a 500 ml reservoir for us to feed water into. So again, using reduced energy and stability, we pull 82 degrees water from our back boiler into the front boiler, and then we reach our desired set point literally that far above the group head to create real consistency and stability. So again, we're treating the water sort of almost very softly and carefully as we bring the water through the machine to give the water the best possible chance of reaching our group head in the best possible quality that we can. Using the stainless steel, it helps manage the pH value. So sometimes mainly within copper boilers, it can get affected by the copper boiler and the pH of the water can change very slightly. And equally, by being soft and caring for the water as it comes through the system, we're then able to ensure that there's no mineral drop off and no scale build up within the machine or anything else. So you spend all that money on a lovely water filter or an RO system or whatever else. Lots of people don't think about then what happens to the water inside the machine once it's then being looked after. So we're ensuring that the water is hitting the group head in the best possible condition, in the best level of state that it could to make the best possible coffee we can. Combined with that, with the elements and the style of flow meters and everything we're using on the machine, we're into sort of 0.1 of a degree of fluctuation and temperature. And also, this is where we start showing milliliter readouts quite clearly on our displays, because we're using what's called 4-pole flow meters, which are twice as accurate as most flow meters on other machines. So if you think of it as a compass, north, south, east and west, if you're dosing off a 2-pole flow meter, it's reading twice every time that flow meter rotates. If you go to a 4-pole flow meter, it's reading 4 times every time it rotates. So it's twice as accurate as a standard flow meter. So hence we can translate every language on here to mils, seconds and degrees, whereas other machines you might find ticks, pulses, whatever rates that there might exist. But we can translate it into language that the barista is going to understand on the machine as well. On the display itself, you've got your outside ring, which is your pressure profile. So that's your pressure of the group as it's running. You've then got the temperature of the group head, the seconds of your last shot, and the milliliters of your last shot. You can program pre-infusion by button on this, and we were actually the first to put 3 buttons on a machine. Everyone else then copied us. It was quite interesting. You've actually also got 5 buttons of operation, actually 6 buttons of operation on this group head. So each one of these buttons also has a double push. If you did need 6 recipes or 5 recipes, you can actually double press the buttons and they'll just flash when they're in operation versus being static. And also on this middle button, you can either have that as a flush or then as a double push to run continuously. So there's lots of different options within that as well. As well as on this, you've got all your automatic cleaning built in as standard. Everything is super easy to program and calibrate. You can either do as you would on a Zoe by pushing and holding the button to bring up the settings, or you can actually go into the settings by pushing the central button and the hot water, and you can control your group head temperatures up and down, your eco mode, whether you want it on or off, your cup heater, whether it's on or off, the temperature of your cup heater, your pre-infusion for each button, so 3 seconds on button 1, 3 seconds button 2, these are all 3, and then how many mils you want on your dispense for your flush. There you go, back through. So really simple and easy to calibrate from that point of view. Yeah. Any questions? Whiz through it a little bit, but it's all about stability, consistency, and creating the best possible coffee in the cup that you can. High volume as well.
Can you adjust the steam pressure?
You can do on the settings, yes, you can adjust the steam pressure up and down slightly to improve the pressure. So currently this one's running at, what have I got it running at? 1.3, but you can push it up to about 1.5 as well. You can go towards 2 if you really wanted, but you'd be blowing milk out of the jug at that kind of pressure. So, yeah, and it's nice. One of the really nice features I like about the Cafe Racer is just adjusting the drip tray. You just twist the knobs at the bottom and it jumps up and down, so there's no need for different chassis for tall cups or regular cups. You can actually fit it perfectly to your cups for your machine. Equally, a huge amount of customization available on these machines as standard. Super easy to work on and operate. Again, one screw, lid comes off, you're in. Each end's just a couple of screws and you're in. So from an engineering point of view, super easy to use, as well as the nice 360 steam arms, which are super powerful. They will keep going all day long. If you're running this on 32 amp, you can literally open that steam arm up and it will just go and go and go. It will very rarely give up. So.
In terms of capacity,
Yeah.
will it depend on the barista how many drinks?
Yeah, I mean, I say 600 plus. You know, if you've got someone really working it hard, you can get a lot of drinks, especially on a full 32 amp supply. It will just keep going and going and going. You could put two baristas on this machine, one doing shots constantly and one doing milk constantly, and you'd still, the machine would still keep up. So it's really down to what capacity and resource you're willing to throw at it to maximise. I mean, more of it's down to also then the control and the quality and consistency of the coffee it's producing, because of the nature of the components and the quality of the materials that are used to achieve that consistency of dose and quality of water and everything else. So, you'll taste the difference of a coffee that you make on this versus one you make on a Zoe or a D8, just because of the consistency and the way the water's been managed and worked through. So.
Why would you choose a racer over
Because you've got copper construction boilers on the F18MB. You go to full stainless steel on here, so you get better stability and improved accuracy. So that's very accurate, but you'll get better accuracy out of this for sort of 0.1 degree, and equally your flow meters are far more improved for consistency and volume. And with the benefits of the stainless steel life cycle and volume, you get more out of this than you would out of the F18.